Good afternoon. Today we shall have a discussion on the process consultation itself. Already we had the discussion in the previous video lecture session. So today we shall continue with the same discussion. As usually, we have a presentation that will help you to understand the concept better. The process consultation. In the previous video lecture session, we had talked about the various principles of the process consultation. Means what are the different principles or the ethics that should be followed by a consultant. Now in today's lecture, we shall focus on the relationship between the OD consultant and the client. This is the slide that we shall refer to. The consultant-client relationship. First of all, as we have already seen when we talked about the principles of OD consultant, according to Edgar Schee's model or the concept of theory, a consultant should have the consultant and client should have a mutual relationship. Now, this mutual relationship is possible only if the consultant is establishing a proper relationship with the client. Now, in this particular discussion, we will see that how it develops and what should be the methodologies to develop this type of relationship. First of all, if you recall, in the principal part, we said that the onus of the problem and the solution will be of the client itself. Means the problem will be the client's problem and the solution that ultimately will be identified by the consultant should be addressed to the client. Now, when the client will first identify the problem in his business, either through the proactive approach or through the reactive mode, he should approach to the consultant. So the consultant will receive a problem statement from the client. So the client must address the problem to the consultant. That this is happening in my organization, this is a scenario, or there is nothing happening in my organization, but still I am feeling that these are likely to happen. So this is a proactive approach. So this is my problem statement. So the client will receive a problem statement from the consultant will receive the problem statement from the client. Now, this organizational development has got a complete similarity and the analogy with the clinical interventions, investigations, treatments that are done for the diseases. When we fall sick, we go to a doctor for the consultation, for the help. So similarly, when the management of an organization is identifying some problem, he will approach to a consultant. So the similarity of the relationship can be understood. Now, it is the responsibility of the doctor to diagnose the problem. So similarly, it is the responsibility of the client to diagnose the problem. Now, in case of the treatment or the clinical interventions, basically there are three steps. First of all, the doctors, they hear from us very carefully. They get each and every detail that we share with them. After that, they do the physical examination, and after that, they offer some diagnostic tests, maybe biochemical test or some imaging studies or radiological studies or something like that. So similarly, in case of the OD intervention as well, when the client has presented a problem in front of the consultant, it is the responsibility for him to diagnose. How to diagnose? The first step is definitely the interrogation. As the doctors ask us the questions and we answer to that. So similarly, the consultant will ask the question to the clients, but in a structured way. Normally, there is a survey that will be carried through the questionnaire method. There are different kinds of survey. There is one concept called the survey feedback. There is one concept called the appreciative inquiry. So there are different types of surveys that can be conducted to get the detail from the client. After that, he needs to identify the problem. Now, the process consultation has got a basic difference from the conventional consultation. Conventional consultations can be done uh, sitting at the office of the consultants. They can do the analysis, they can finally provide the result, and they can recommend. But in case of the process consultation, it is basically an in situ consultation where the consultant should be present in the organization itself. He should talk to the employees. He should talk to the labor unions. He should talk to the management representative. So this is the uniqueness. So through this interrogation, continuous interrogation, and the different uh, survey methods, the information should be collected by the consultant. Now, after getting all this information, he will definitely do the data analysis, and through that he will identify what exactly is the problem. Not necessarily this analysis of the diagnostic system will only be limited to the internal retrospection. Rather, it can be an external observation as well. What is happening outside my organization? What is happening outside my organization? What is happening in the industry itself? What is happening abroad? What are the recent trends? All these things can be equally identified by a consultant. Now, the most important thing in this relationship is the trust, because if the trust is not there, definitely the client will not share all details and the consultant will not be able to perform properly. Next one, the client relies on the consultant's expertise. It's understandable because the client is completely dependent on the consultant in this particular case, and he will seek for the help from the client. Already we have seen in this Shin's concept that it should be a mutual relationship. It should be a relationship which is based on the 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 helping each other. So that's the concept. Now, next one, the consultant will act as a role model for the client. That's quite definite because we understand that the consultant uh, will play the role of a change maker. Basically, these consultants are the change agents for the organization. They will bring about the change in the organization. So definitely the consultant will act as a role model for the client. So these are the different elements of the consultant and client relationship in the organization. Now we shall focus on the different challenges of the OT intervention. Now, when the consultant will actually work, he will identify lots of problems. So first of all, management of the performance to increase the accountability, performance of the consultant, definitely. The building a pipeline, but these are not the sole responsibilities of the consultant. In this particular case, as the heading says, that these are the challenges of OT intervention, not the challenges of OT consultation. So obviously the consultants will face this problem. Parallelly, it will be the management. They also needs to have a introspection to this particular problem. So this building a pipeline of qualified leaders, OD is a continuous process. It's a lengthy process. Maybe the consultant and client, they are working right currently and they're having a good relationship, but it must be ensured that if this particular individual who is actually controlling the entire affair on behalf of the organization, if he moves away, if his superannuation takes place, if he is away from the organization, if he is no more in the organization, then who will take the control? So there should be a proper succession planning to make the entire set of future leaders ready. Now, the addressing the career development needs of a multi-generational workforce. Basically, organizational development is focused towards development of the entire organization, and one of the major components is definitely the resource development of the human resource as well. So that should also be focused on that. But the problem is that you have to convince the multi-generational workforce, because the workforce over there is highly diverse. So you have to convince them as well. Strategically communicating organizational priorities. These priorities must be communicated to each and every levels of the organizational workforce. Engaging and retaining a diverse workforce, already we have talked about, because the organization contains the diverse workforce. It is not only, OD is not only dealing with the management, not only dealing with the trade unions, rather it's dealing with each and every the levels of the employees present in the organization, starting from the ranks and files to the top management level. Managing the remote employees, it may happen that the employees are not present at the location where the organization is actually located. There may be some offshore assignments for the employees. They may be stationed outside, maybe outside the country as well. So managing the OT for them as well is a challenge. And finally, onboarding the new employees. The new employees who have just joined or likely to join. It is a challenge for the OD consultant as well as the management to actually put forward the concept of OD to them and to make them accustomed with the culture of the OD in the organization. So these are the different challenges of the OD intervention. So with this, we conclude the entire gamut of the process consultation in case of OD. We shall continue with the various case studies in OD intervention as well as the entire OD process. Till this point of time, thank you very much. Stay indoor and stay safe.